Flying to the moon with you on a Friday night. This is your boy Toy Easy Gee, and this is the GFHL Today. I am alongside the man, the myth, the legend, El Presidente, El Commissioner, Anthony Simone. Now, I understand we have a few callers who have been online for quite some time now, and we not only thank you for your patience, but we thank you for your commitment. We're going to get to Gary in Port Perry in just a second, but before we do so, I got a couple more questions for Sims, kind of following the same note as our conversation before the commercial break. Do you have a board of governors?
Jeez, funny question. I've heard a lot about it, a lot of speculation, whether I have a board of governors, whether I don't have a board of governors. Really, in the end, I don't really think it matters. We run a great league. Well, it doesn't matter how it's run. So I'm just gonna refuse to comment on that if you don't mind.
Okay, so there's no comment to the board of governors question. The reason I'm asking a question, not to just come right after you, but there was a situation last year. Now, to briefly give you the Coles Notes version of the situation. Two general managers, the Rat and the Rock, made a trade. At the time of the trade, the Rock was eliminated from postseason play. Dos Winning seemed to have won the trade, and his argument was, why can't somebody improve his team? Now, that's the most rat-oriented comment I've ever heard in my life. The trade was vetoed, and just thinking about what he said makes my blood boil. You vetoed the trade, Sims. How did you come to that final decision, and what decision-making process did you use to get to that?
Well, it was rough. It was a big defining moment in the GFHL. I was getting a lot of phone calls when that trade went down. There was a lot going on to it. I took time to assess. I called each one of the GMs back. I spoke to each one of them. And in the end, I had to make a decision. I think I made the right decision. I made the fair decision. There were some people that were upset. But around the league, I was actually praised by a lot of other commissioners that told me I made the right decision. So I'm happy with the decision that I made, and I think we'll just leave it at that.
Okay, that's fair. Now, I know myself, as well as another 3 to 4 GMs, said that if you had not done that, then it would have turned into a gong show. So thankfully you did. You know what? The past is in the past, and we're more so moving forward than looking behind us.
Hey,
now,
just always making the right call.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Gary in Port Perry. Gary, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Gary, how's it going? Sorry for the long wait.
Not bad.
You got a question for the commissioner?
Yes, first time caller, long time
Hey,
listener.
thanks a lot. We appreciate that.
Yeah, Mr. Commissioner, I run a great league. I was watching the other day and came right down to Sunday. Great excitement. Being around 5 years, 6 years or so, there must be some deep rivalries and some cutthroat. Can you expand on that?
Thanks a lot, Gary. It's a great question.
Yeah, great question, Gary. We've really tried to do a few innovations over the last few years to try and really get the league going.
Shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, So last year we introduced Rivalry Week, and it was great. I mean, it wasn't the success it is today, but it was just getting going. And
now, what is Rivalry Week for the listeners at home?
Oh, geez. Well, Rivalry Week is we know the schedule well in advance.
Yeah.
So we look at the schedule, and you know who you're playing next week. And Rivalry Week is the week before you're playing that individual, that other GM. You really get into it with them. Myself, I was in the highest rated Rivalry Week ever, and it was great.
Ratings were through the roof.
Through the roof.
Coincidentally, it coincided with GFHL Today, and that was also a great success by the fellowship and the viewers and whatnot. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean it was big, but one thing we got to make sure is we don't overplay it. You don't want to just have a Rivalry Week every week. It's got to be a big moment, and I think that's really going to bring the crowd.
How long in between weeks do we have these so-called rivalries?
It's up in the air. I mean, we could potentially have a back-to-back Rivalry Week. I'm not saying we can.
Wow.
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
are we recording this back-to-back rivalry? Wow.
Potentially, but
what would it take for a situation like that to come into play quickly?
We would really need to see what was going on, but I mean, there could be there could be a rivalry that happened stemming from the original rivalry, and it could just be another part where two other guys jumped in.
Situation where it boils over.
When it boils over, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I mean, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, very well said. Can you stick around for a little bit, or you gotta go? Or?
No, this is great. It's
Perfect.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're having a great time.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you watching at home on Easy Geek TV, we're gonna pan the camera out for you a little bit, and we're gonna welcome in host of Chris's Can't Misses, general manager of the Beliefers, CZ69er, Chris Zambito. Chris, thanks for being in the studio. How's it going?
No problem.
What's going on,
Thank you.
Chris?
Thank you.
Before we get to Chris's Can't Misses, I think this is a great opportunity having three GMs in the same room at the same time. Before a commercial break, do you have a question for Sims about the GFHL and the direction of it?
Yeah, I've noticed your franchise, like last year, spent some time at the bottom this year.
Oh,
Very good. Yeah.
You're getting a lot of injuries, but there's also been some speculation out there. You've said goalies aren't important. Can you expand on that?
Goalies not being important. That's something that I'm kind of a bit on the other way. I think goalies are important.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I've kind of had goalies that haven't worked out.
in terms of importance, where do you rank goaltenders? Is I guess what this question is.
Geez. I mean, I think you need one really, really solid goalie, and then the other goalie is a flip of the coin. But this year, I have a good goalie. You just need two starters, I think. That's the way I think, but there's different GMs. As for why I'm off to such a bad start,
I was gonna ask, just as you kind of interrupted me. For example, you have Pekka Rinne, Simeon Varlamov, and Craig Anderson. Hey, you know what? We're not gonna comment on the depth of your goaltending, but having said what you just said about the importance of goaltending, why are your goaltenders as follows, and why are you where you are in the standings?
Well, first off, those goalies, that you would be surprised that my third best goalie right now in the last few weeks has probably been Pekka Rinne. So the two goalies that have been really
Quietly
playing
been
really
turning it
well
around, yeah.
have been Craig Anderson and Semyon Varlamov. So I mean that's got to be something on its own.
No, Chris, who are your tenders? And what's your philosophy on goaltenders in a said fantasy hockey league?
I've got Marc-Andre Fleury, who currently is out with head injury.
Now, we in waiver wire pickups, we're going to get to, you picked up Jeff Zadkoff. Now, so you have the Pittsburgh combo.
Yes, and I also have Miller, Ryan Miller.
Yes, absolutely.
And another great pickup, Jake Allen.
Jake Allen, wow.
Jake
Allen, the number one guy in St. Louis. Now, we're going to get to all that fun stuff after the break. Chris, Sims, thanks for coming in. Glad to have you with us. You're listening to GFHL Today on 97.3 The Gee.
It started at the same time. I was already halfway talking.
What are we putting on? What are we putting cash on?
If you have cash up front,
What do you want?
Better.
I got like 5 beans on me.
For what?
I got Golden State -12 and Raptors straight up.
See, -10 would
How much?
I'll be reasonable money.
Wait, how much does that make?
Whatever you guys
What
want
does
to
that
do.
make?
I'm going to do 15, and I could win, I think you win 32 back or something like that.
32 back?
So it's double your money?
15 to return 50.
Yeah.
It's, that's 35. 35
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
I'll be in for 5.
35.
What would 5 be?
35, so you would get
10 would give us
35. No, if we do $5 each, we're $5 each. Oh, 35 would be, if we do $5 each, we only get fucking $10 back each.
Okay, so we gotta do like 10 each.
I keep you guys.
Yeah, okay, I'm not. Yeah, I'm the stupidest thing ever.
I'm only winning double.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do.
I'm an odds guy.
I'm just gonna do myself $10.
That's like just
Does this sound like your friends on a Friday night? If so, call Gambler Anonymous at 1-800-6979.